What did it look like inside where you guys had a hectic project where things went wrong?
Being a woman and having a team of male that were reporting to your project, I could sense that they were undermining me. Being a woman, what do you know? What is it that you think you can tell us? So those are the things that I faced. And I remember I sat with this one Indian guy. We were working together. I've got a team of over 200,000 across the African continent. And this is how much this company is paying me. And this is how much I make a day. Do you think I should resign? And he asked me a question that changed my life. And he said to me, how many people do you have under your structure, under your organization? And I said, 200,000. And he said to me, you have more people than the CEO of our company. The difference between you and our CEO is your mindset. You have more people under you than the CEO. Why are you still here? And then I went, I accept my resignation.
Today I'm joined by an absolute powerhouse in the studio. She's a female game changer. Her name is a force. She's a tech visionary who's reshaped the banking landscape in South Africa. She's also just been at the tip of the iceberg. She continues to champion for girls' education, and she's leading the charge to ensure that no girl misses school due to lack of sanitary pads. She grew up in the vibrant landscapes of Mpho, and she's got bustling energy here in Gauteng, and now she is moving mountains with an extraordinary journey. Welcome, Dr. Vivian.
Thank you.
Just before the episode started, I was asking her to say, what was your PhD in?
It was in information systems and business application.
I mean, when one hears that they think genius level things, what could you break it down to our viewers maybe that are wondering, what does a PhD in information systems mean?
It's the highest level of qualification, your highest after your master's in computer science.
Yeah. And while doing the PhD, I mean, a lot of people have known that computer science is very profitable. It's a very game-changing industry.
Yes.
What did you go through? Maybe let's start at the beginning. What did you study?
I studied information systems, and most of my qualifications, they are around information systems. So before I could venture into my own businesses, I worked in corporate as an IT business analyst, senior system analyst, IT project manager. Then I retired as in part of IT portfolio within one of the biggest banks in South Africa, and that was in 2018. So that's why my PhD in computer science is something that I studied from undergraduate until postgraduate.
I mean, before we get into the trailblazing things that you're doing now, for the viewers watching and just wondering, what does a computer science analyst or an IT analyst do within the banking sector? What were some of the things that you did?
Some of the things that I have done was to design processes, and also build systems, transforming the system of the bank from the manual into the automated process. So that was that, and also managing a team of IT specialists that were responsible for transforming the face of the banking sector.
And I mean, for people like yourself that are very brainy, computer science, and understand this, all that the general public knows is the bank has been hacked or somebody's hacked my banking app. What did it look like inside where you guys had a hectic project where things went wrong?
Obviously, as a project manager, you are the one to be blamed. It was hectic. I was always the one to be blamed when things were going wrong, and when things are going right, you are celebrated. And for me, it was a bit challenging because I was in an environment that was male-dominated. Yeah, and being a woman and having a team of male that were reporting to your project, that was not easy. I mean, I remember at this stage, there was this project, a critical project that we were working on, and we were not getting it right. And I like making this joke anyway, but it happened years ago. And I remember I went to our developers. I said, guys, surely this is a small code. It can't take this long for you to develop it. And one of them made fun of me and said, Vivian, I doubt you have ever written even a single line of Java. That's why it's easy for you to say that. But if you have written a single line of Java, then you'll understand that it's not as easy as that. So for me, it was a joke. But anyway, I could sense that they were undermining me. Being a woman, what do you know? What is it that you think you can tell us? So those are the things that I faced. Being a woman, a Black woman, and in a male-dominated environment. And every time I had to prove myself that whatever a man can do, I can do it. I had to work double.
Sure.
Yeah, because you're Black.
Yeah, and it's computer science.
Beside that, you're Black, you're a woman. You have to prove yourself all the time that my qualification, it's not a piece of paper. I'm here because I deserve to be here. Not that because I'm Black. That's why I'm here. No. I'm here because I can deliver. I'm here because I can build and break system at any given point. It's not because I'm a woman, and it's not because I'm Black. But it's because I'm Vivian.
Yeah. I mean, your work was then recognized. You even won global awards for some of your work.
Some of my projects. I remember this is one of my highlights, and I pride myself in that. One of the projects that we did in one of the biggest banks in South Africa, it's in fact won global awards. It was recognized as one of the most innovative projects that we've ever done in the banking sector. Wow. So those were one of the glorious moments that I had, and I retired. Actually, I retired at my highest peak when I was doing well, after I was even given a retention bonus.
Wow. I mean, before we get to what happened for you to retire and where you went to afterwards, I want us to maybe look at, leading teams in that environment, in the banking industry where, almost everybody there has got an ego and you're saying male
they're highly qualified. They're here because they've got the right qualification and the right skill set to be there.
How did you navigate that world? What are some of the leadership traits that you learned from leading a male-dominated team in banking?
Look, be yourself, and I had to be yourself, be true. That's what I did. And I understood where they were coming from. But I knew that I'm capable as well. And I'm there because I deserve to be there. That's it. And I had to show them the way, because at the end of the day, it's my project. I am a leader. I'm accountable. I also report to someone else, and work had to be done. But you had to find a way of making people doing things for you, as a leader. It's something that I learned anyway from my dad, making people to do things that they won't normally do under normal circumstances.
I want to dive a little bit more into that.
And then I did that, and that's how I won most of them. Getting them on my side, getting them to deliver the project. It wasn't about Vivian is your manager. But it was all about we are in this together. If I win, we all win. It's not only my win, but my win is also your win. Though I knew that at the end of the day, it will be my name that will be mentioned when the project succeed. And I was not threatened by the fact that I was leading a team that was more qualified or more experienced than me. I was never threatened of that. I understood that some of them were more qualified than me. They could build systems better than me. And I used that to make myself look good.
That's so profound.
Yeah.
Very valuable skills in leadership. But somebody might be asking, so you're doing so well in banking, you've been promoted, you're now managing and leading teams, you're getting global awards for the work that you're doing in banking. What happened for you to leave? Let's maybe start with the retention, and then what happened for you to leave?
You get to a point where you have achieved all of this. And what's next? I reached my peak. That was next. Am I really born for this? Am I really born to build systems and go home? Is that the reason why I was born? That was a question that I was asking myself all the time. And it got, it is tiring. Corporate is tiring. You lose yourself sometimes, because especially when projects are not going well, there's a lot of betrayal. There's a lot of things that are happening in there. And I got tired of that game, where every month when things are not going well, someone has to be thrown under the bus. And then you have to worry, who is next? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be my team? Is it going to be the next project? Who's the next project manager? Who's the next victim? I got tired of that. I did all of that, but there was still something missing. Something missing. There was that void. Is this all? Is this all?
And the money in terms of the banking that was there?
The money was good. I was comfortable. I was comfortable. I could afford the life of the so-called middle class people in South Africa. I was okay. The adrenaline was there. It was nice. I mean, the month-end rush that the system, within the bank that I was working for, we used to deploy or make changes in our system every month. So that month-end rush that the system must be up, or how do we keep it up? It was nice while it lasted. But you get to a point where you realize there's more to you than that. Money was good, but it's not always about money. I needed more.
And what was that pivotal moment where you typed the resignation letter, where you sent it? What was that moment where you said, I'm out?
Okay, what happened is while I was still busy, being full-time employed, I was introduced to network-based entrepreneurship. Then I was introduced to another world, a different world altogether.
From banking to network entrepreneurship, it's completely different, yeah.
Okay, rather say network marketing, people will understand, because if you say network-based entrepreneurship,
they might lose
it's a fancy term. They think it's something else. Network marketing, the jungle. From a formal structure to informal structure. Jungle, a delivered industry. So from corporate, now you are thrown.
You're thrown in.
Damn, there's no structure there. Network marketing, when Mpho, it's like a church.
Yes, yeah.
Where a security guard can be a pastor. You understand? Where a medical doctor can be an usher.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
it takes a lot out of you.
I want to take you back to your first network marketing meeting,
yes.
Right? When you got in there, what was it? One of those, somebody forced you to come have cake and then you found yourself in there?
No. They came to my house. A gentleman came to my house and presented the business opportunity. And they came with lots of products, And I looked at the product and I'm like, the whole me, hell no, I'm not going to be selling this. What the hell is this? That was a question.
Know that I lead a team at the bank.
No. Like, sell. The whole me, must I go now and sell? You understand? But there were certain products that I fell in love with that caught my attention. Out of all the products that he had, a sanitary napkin, I fell in love with it. The analyst in me just kicked in when I looked at that product. And I was like, Hengten, tell me more about this product. I've never seen such a product. I'm a woman. I've been using pads, but I've never seen such. Tell me more about it. And the technology and the innovation that came with that product is what caught my attention. And I said, no, man, now this is it. I'm not a seller, but this I can sell.
Because you'd used it and you found that it was very helpful.
No, I've never used it before. I've never seen something like this. And it's something that I've been looking for. As a woman, having used other products that never worked for me, and the struggle that I've experienced with moving from one brand to the other. And when I saw this, I've never seen it in Africa. And I was like, this is it. This is a business. This I can sell. And I can use who I am, maybe to change the face of this profession. Because many people, including me, I looked down on network marketing. I never saw myself in it. It wasn't something that I saw myself doing it. I looked down on it. I looked down on the people that were doing it. But when I saw that product, I said, maybe there was that aha moment. Maybe I can use who I am, my background, to change the face of this industry and to make the best out of it.
So you signed up, you got started.
I kept quiet. I kept it a secret. I didn't want people to know. for 6 months.
So for 6
Only my
months you were
husband
using the
knew.
product.
I was using the product. I was selling behind the scene. I was selling it, convincing my colleagues to buy the product. I was only focusing on a sanitary pad, but I didn't tell them what I was doing. I didn't even want to mention the name of the company, because even the name of the company, by mentioning the name of it, it sounded like it's a scam, So you understand? So I was like, no. I made up a story, and I came up with the story that, you know what, I'm into manufacturing of pads. And I was not even into manufacturing of pads by then. I didn't even know the process, what goes into it. So my focus was on the sanitary pads.
And that's a monthly consumption. It moves.
Listen, every 3 minutes as we are here, a girl child is born.
Ooh.
And as long as a girl child is born, I knew
She
that
will
need a pad, and my business will never reach a point of saturation.
Sure.
That's it. I knew that. Then I ran with it. And I made my first million within 6 months.
Of the network marketing. Wow.
That was the turning point. This thing works.
Sure.
Then I was like, this thing works. How can I formalize it? How can we make it formal? It works.
Sure.
If it can pay me so much money in a short space of
time,
then we are onto something here. Then I started reading about network marketing, the difference between network marketing and Ponzi scheme.
Did you resign when you made your first?
No.
So you were still working?
No. I mean, I had a comfortable job. Why would you resign? I didn't resign. I was a bit skeptical. I wasn't sure as yet should I resign.
Where it's gonna go, yeah.
Then I started making my own research about network marketing. What's going on, what other people are saying about it in Africa, in Europe, in America. And then I realized from my research, I'm an academic, so it was easier for me to make research.
Yeah.
Then I started reading books about network marketing, articles that were published about network marketing. Then trying to understand why there's so much stigma in my country about network marketing and what's going on. I mean, if it could pay me so much in a short space of time, what is the problem? And why is it in Europe a recognized profession? I mean, there are associations in Europe that are protecting this business. It's a lucrative business in America, actually, in Europe, than it is here in Africa. So I started making my own research just to understand what is happening. And then from that, then I realized that it's because of lack of knowledge and education around this profession, and the fact that it's not formalized in Africa. That's why we have so many people that are doubting the profession, myth around it, and it's because it's not formalized. It's the same. It was more or less the same as my research on IT project, because my research on IT project was focusing mainly on why so many IT projects are failing in South Africa, why we have so many IT projects that are failing. And the conclusion that I derived into in my thesis, it was the same with network marketing, is because it's not recorded, it's not formalized. And when things are not formalized, it opens a room for wrong things. There's no accountability.
Yeah, when there's no structure in
If
place.
there's no structure, there's no accountability. Even those who are not part of network marketing, they'll call themselves that. And there's no accountability. Nobody, no one answers to anybody. And when people are losing money in network marketing space, no one is held accountable. We all move on. There've never been any arrest of those that have scammed innocent people until recently. So that's the reason why many people were skeptical. And there are lots of wrongs that are happening in the industry. We cannot shy away from that.
Yeah.
And there are many companies that will just use products and disguise that as network marketing. And we find many people with products that are just lying in their garages. You understand? So companies are winning, but the end user, which is me and you ordinary people, you are stuck with products that you cannot move.
Yeah, that you're not going to be using.
And it's a scam. So you're right to say it's a scam. You've been scammed because what you've been sold It actually didn't materialize. So those are the things that I found, throughout my research. And then I said, education is needed. Education is needed.
Before we get to the education, when did you ever then leave your job?
Yes.
What was, because many people have that question to say, when something is happening, what is the tipping point? What made you say, I'm done, resigning, I'm now full time?
When I was making more than what they were paying me per annum, per week.
Ooh. So what they were paying you for the whole year, in the week you'd be able to make that?
Yeah. In a day, I was making that.
Ooh, in a day.
In a day, I was making that.
So it only made sense to say,
leave while you are still doing well.
And when you left, you then continued.
I remember when I served my resignation, it wasn't easy. Actually, there's a gentleman, I had to ask some of my colleagues first, just to be sure, I started by asking my husband, do you think I should leave? Mind you, I was not leaving a job, I was leaving a career here that I studied for years, and my husband said, no, it's fine, you can leave. I mean, it's IT, you can still go back. Your skill, it's one of those that we consider a rare skill. And should things not work out, you can still go back. He was just trying to comfort me. Then I asked one of my colleagues. At that time, I had a network. That time, my network was over 200,000 under me that I've built.
Sure.
And then I remember I sat with this one Indian guy. I forgot his name. We were working together. He was under my project. And then I explained to him my situation. I said, look, I've got a team of over 200,000 across the African continent. And this is how much this company is paying me, per week. And this is how much I make a day. Do you think I should resign? And he asked me a question that changed my life. And he said to me, how many people do you have under your structure, under your organization? And at that time, it was over 200. Then I said, 200,000. And he said to me, the CEO of our company only has 20,000 people under him.
Ooh.
You have more people than the CEO of our company. The difference between you and our CEO is your mindset.
Ooh.
You have more people under you than the CEO. Why are you still here? Then I went, I saved my resignation. That was it.
That is so deep. Yeah.
That was it. I'm forever grateful to that guy.
Sure.
He made me see the light. He said, Vivian, why are you scared?
Yeah. I mean, looking at this, and I think let's jump into network marketing. And I love the way that you call it because you recognize that it's a profession. From that, I mean, in South Africa, even myself, I've been involved with network marketing, things that did not make any sense. I've bought Mpho products that I didn't need. I've bought all these different products that are available. But the main issue that people have is the selling.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people say, we don't mind that we want to buy this and that, but what about the selling? How did you get it right when it comes to selling? Because, I mean, you had built such a big team.
Remember I said, I spoke about education, that I had to make research. Then I realized that now it all boils down to education, educating our people. When we know better, we do better. Changing their mindset, Mpho. And that's what I did,
So you believe the reason you were very successful is because you had studied and you knew how to do research about that industry.
Yeah, I understood the industry and I knew the do's and don'ts and what made the industry to fail in Africa and what we need to do to change the industry so that it can be acceptable. And I used myself as a case study. I presented myself. I said, this is Vivian, a highly qualified IT specialist. I'm not ashamed of selling. So if Vivian is selling from the boot of her car, why are you not selling? What are you waiting for? And I made selling fashionable. I used myself and I did it. I made it practical. It wasn't something that I said. I went to Soweto. I sold a toothpaste from the boot of my car. I was using that as an encouragement to encourage the next person that, hey, if she's selling with all that she has achieved, then it's possible. Then I started a movement. I called it Sell Something. Find any legit product, sell it, and sell it hard. And that was a turning point for many people in the profession. Then people started now selling. I said, let's focus on selling, because if we only focus on the money part and the recruiting, then that's where the pyramid scheme thing, appears. But if we show people that there is a service, there's a product, there's a work that we're doing, because half the time networkers are not showing the work that happens. They just only appears with the material, with the results.
And they just want you to sign up.
Yeah, then it doesn't look legit. It looks dodgy. How did you buy this car? But if we show them the work that happens behind the scene, and we show them that there's a product, and not just any product, this is a product that I'm using. We're not just buying products for the sake of buying the product. It has to be the product that is people can consume. So that's what I started. And some of the pitfalls that I've experienced in other companies, then when I started my own journey in my own company, which is Dignity, and where I'm using now the network marketing model, that's when I started rectifying some of those pitfalls, that were associated, regarded as disadvantage in network marketing. Then I use that and I turn it around with my organization. If a product is a product that people are using, and it's a product that I can sell and I can introduce to the next person, that's what network marketing is all about. I have to use the product, and the product must not be stuck in my garage. It must move from the warehouse to the end person, which is a consumer, the person that must use the product. And it mustn't be a product that Mpho only uses this month, the next month you don't use it. As soon as there's no repeat order, then we are in trouble.
Let's jump into that. So you were part of a company for network marketing. Things did not go the way you wanted, so you started your own.
I learned the skill. I learned whatever I could learn from them, which I'm grateful for that. For 8 years, I was with them, selling their products, learning the system, learning how they manufacture their product, how they do things. And then it was time for me to have my own.
What did they get wrong? What do you think is the main thing that went wrong?
80% of the things were right, because many lives of people were changed, including mine. They've changed many lives in Africa. The 20%, nobody's perfect. The fact that they were not African, they were a multinational company. I guess the cultural difference in understanding how Africans do things, that those were some of the challenges that they had. I mean, you're from Asia, and there's one thing about Asians, they're not like Africans. They're not agile. It's either our way or the highway, They were here for business, bottom line. They're like Americans, it's bottom line. Bottom line, which is profit. And sometimes it's not like that, especially when you're working with human beings, not only Africans, when you're working with human beings. Look, Mpho, if people are moving your product, be grateful. They don't have to do that. They don't have to do that. Remember, you've cut cost of paying advertising agency. You're using ordinary people on the ground to sell your product. They don't have to do that. The least you could do is to honor those people. Yes, you are paying them commission, we understand, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. And if a person is using their resources and their time to sell your product, which is Mpho, I will be grateful for that. They don't have to do that, But I guess with many companies, they lose that touch, yaboto. It's bottom line. We're paying you. We don't owe you anything because we paid you a salary. But they're forgetting that when you're dealing with people, like I said, I like what you have done with your environment. You've created home away from home. When people feel valued and when people feel that they're part of the vision, they will carry it as if it's their own, if they feel included. So many companies fail in that, especially network marketing company, they fail in that. And I think that's where also the former company that I represented failed in that. The focus was mainly on bottom line. Like I said, 80% they got it right. It's just that 20% where they failed, and also accountability as well. It's a problem because if you're promising people that I'm going to give you a product and they pay for it, there's an expectation. There's an expectation. And by the time you do not deliver, they call it a scam, even though you're not a scam.
Yeah.
You know, and there's one thing about network marketing. Remember, like I said, because it's a church, people are not forgiving like corporate. They're not forgiving like in
They were
corporate.
expecting everything to be perfect, like a church.
And if it's not, they have nothing to lose. They'll go on social media.
Oof.
Remember, it's everyone in there. Vivian will think twice before going on social media and writing nonsense about Mpho. I have a lot to lose. Do you understand? I have to process first and understand the implication of what I will be writing on social media. Yes, I might be angry or have a valid point, but I will process that. Then after what happens. But a person that has nothing to lose, they'll go to social media and write whatever. And once it's there on social media, reputational damage is something. Once it's gone, it's gone. You know, and recovering that is something else. You might be lucky, but I guess in their case, they were not. There were a lot of people that we owed products. You know, and they didn't understand the logistics of getting a product from Asia to South Africa. They didn't understand that.
Yeah.
That sometimes it can take 2 to 3 months. They had an expectation, which is fair, that we've paid the money. Therefore, give us what we've paid for.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the patience and the understanding. So therefore, they went and wrote a lot of things on social media about the company. And unfortunately, because I was the top leader and I was associated with the company, they thought I'm the company. They didn't understand that I was also a distributor like them. So I was at the firing line most of the time, because instead of them mentioning the company, they will mention Vivian. But they didn't understand that I was the distributor like them. I had no say. It wasn't my company. I was not a director. I didn't have shareholders. So as a result, I found myself as well direct with the company. My name as well was in the firing line, you know, which I understood where they were coming from. Some people, they will take their hard-earned money. We sold them hope. You know, I mean, they saw our lifestyle. They wanted the freedom, the financial freedom that we were preaching. And when it didn't happen, then they revolted. It was a revolt, you know. And unfortunately, I didn't have control to fix some of the things because I was just a distributor like them.
It wasn't your company.
That's why I had to find my own company where I will have the control, you know, where I can implement whatever, because I loved the product. I believed in the product. I donated actually most of those products from 2018 to 2023, a sanitary napkin. I've been doing that using my own funds. Because I know the product worked. It worked for me, and it worked for many women that used it, you know. So I had to start my own business with the same product, but improve it. I had to improve it there and there so that it can have my look and feel, and it so that it can resemble Vivian, an African woman, and it could suit African women, you know. So I started now working on that project. As you said in your introduction, I saw no reason why a girl child in Africa should miss school because they don't have access to a pad. I know what education can do to a black child, especially a girl child. I'm a product of good education, and I know what education did to Vivian Mokome. Therefore, I wanted the same thing for our people, you know. The only way I could achieve that, it's only when I had control.
So when you started your business, you started off with, and you'll forgive me, I usually call them sanitary pads.
Yeah,
So the
it's
correct
fine.
word is Okay.
No, it's fine. Even
Both.
pads, it's okay.
Okay,
Both,
even
yeah.
pads. So both work. When you started that, you started it to say, I'm going to be building a pad.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand the solution part of it. What was so special, or what is so special about your pad?
It is organic. It is biodegradable. And it is what I call a revolution. It is a standard in developed countries. In developed countries such as your America, Europe, Asia, you'll never find the kind of pads that we are still using in Africa. And most of 90% rather of the gynecological problems that black women are experiencing in Africa, and this is not according to me, this is according to the study that was done by WHO, is as a result of poor quality sanitary pads. Now your next question will be, what is a poor quality sanitary pad? A poor quality sanitary pad is a pad that is made of recycled material, a pad that has harmful chemicals that are deadly to my reproductive system. And most of these pads, they contain chemicals that are harmful to the reproductive system of a woman. And most of these pads, Mpho, a girl child will not even wear that pad for a long period without experiencing accidents such as leakages. They've used lower quality material. I doubt whoever has designed these pads, they're actually using them. I used to make a joke and say to my team, I believe that the person that has designed the pads that we are using, it's a man. It is a man. It can't be a woman, because if I'm a woman, I will not design such pads. And they didn't use 100% quality material. It's synthetic material that they've used there. And remember, a vagina of a woman is the most sensitive part of the body of a woman. Now, if you're using recycled material, synthetic pads material in there, and that has chemicals that are harmful to my reproductive system, that's a quick way of depopulation. Yeah, it is.
And that's what I'm thinking about, to say,
it is.
Could it even be that the people that designed these pads?
I hope we don't get into trouble, because that's the question I've asked myself. That why would you design such? Why would you use such chemicals in a sanitary pad?
But and where is the education in this? Because obviously I'm not a woman, but I would believe that, I don't know, should schools not maybe be, who's responsible for educating women to say, these are deadly pads and you should be using biodegradable,
organic.
Organic.
We should be using organic, and it's about time we start questioning what goes into the manufacturing of sanitary pads. I'm having a class tomorrow, a master class tomorrow, where I'll be teaching my team. It's all about education. And who is responsible? Me and you.
So when you've now created, I'm already sold on your pads, because they essentially save lives.
They save lives.
What then was your distribution? Did you land on network marketing? Did you start with it? What did you experience? What led you to say, I would like this model to distribute?
I started by giving them for free. I was just giving them for free, for the love of it. And also what I was getting back, the feedback that I was getting back from the girls that were benefiting from my pads, that was fulfilling for me. I remember when I went to Alexander, I gave them pads for the whole year. A girl child goes on their menstruation for the whole year. I don't understand this thing of giving pads for 1 month. I don't know who came up with that. I don't understand that. It never made sense to me. Why would we do this to our people? And it's black people that are doing this thing to their own people. I don't understand why. Mpho, I grew up in Soshanguve, in the township. I remember back then when I was still growing up, if there was no salt or sugar at home, my mom will go next door and they'll give it to us. It was the lifestyle. We were okay with that. Then post 1994, I don't know what happened to black people. I don't know what happened to us. I think that spirit of Ubuntu, it just left us or maybe, I guess it's the lifestyle that we are living. I don't understand, why can't we do the same thing with the sanitary pad? Why are we having many girls, black girls in South Africa that are without sanitary pads in 2025? Why are we having that? It never made sense to me. And why are we doing this to our children? And I remember this lady came, she was doing a presentation of this other pad, and I asked her a simple question. Do you use this pad yourself? And she said, no, we're giving it to black communities that are struggling, I said, just because they're struggling and because they're black, does it mean that we need to give them products that are demeaning? If you are poor, the only thing that you have, Mpho, is your dignity. And why are we stripping them off of the only thing that they have, which is their dignity, by giving them products that are demeaning? I looked at this woman in the eye, and then I said to her, would you wash your menstrual blood? And she said to me, but that's not the question. I said, no. Would you do that?
If she was giving them those that needed to be washed.
If it's not good for me, if it's not good for my daughter, it's not good for the next person. I know the torture of washing your menstrual blood. I was made to do that when I was 15. It's still stuck in my memory. The torture that comes with that, having to wash your menstrual blood. And it doesn't mean once you have done that cloth will be clean. You need to use it again. No, man. Then I said to this woman, look, don't do that to our children. Then I started giving these pads for the whole year. It was a yearly project. I used my own money. The response, the feedback that I got from those children is the one that encouraged me. I remember one of the girls said to me, the only time we see a chopper in Alex is when they're looking for a criminal. But today a woman came here and gave us the only thing that we need, which is a pad. And she said to me, Mom Viv, I needed this the most. How can I repay you? I will do well in my matric and see you at the top. That's what she told me.
Wow.
That was 2022 to 2023. Today, those girls, most of them, they are in Wits University of Cape Town. We're still in contact. They're doing well. That was the turning moment for me. But it was no longer sustainable. My partner came to me. My business partner approached me and said, this is not sustainable. Then what happens when they need these pads? When they can afford to buy them? Where can they get them? And you can give, Vivian, but it will be to some certain level. It's not sustainable. And then I said, it's fine. Let's create a commercial model. Then that's when we started now selling the pads. And we approached different retail stores. They didn't buy into it because it was a new brand. They've never heard of it. They acknowledge that the pads is good, but they've never heard of the brand. We were competing with the well-known brands that have already done well. So they didn't buy into what we were proposing, which is fair anyway. It's business, bottom line. Then I said to my partner, look, I'm from network marketing space. Let's give network marketing a chance. It's like, no, we're not going that route. I said, let's give it a chance. Let's look for foot soldiers on the ground that can move the pad. I had to convince him. He was like, what is network marketing? I just said to him, word of mouth. Word of mouth is more powerful than a product sitting in the shelf.
What an interesting way to put it, word of mouth.
Yeah. Because he didn't understand. I struggled to convince him, explaining what is network marketing. Then I just said, in simple term, word of mouth. Let's get the product let's get people to use the product. When they use it, they'll tell the next person. And the next person will tell the next person. I said, that's network marketing. He was like, are you sure? I said, yeah. And then let's build a system. We build a system where we incentivize them for doing that work. I said, instead of spending money in marketing a brand that is not known, let's use this vehicle. It's a powerful vehicle. It works. He was like, are you sure? I said, give me a chance. Give me 3 months. I'll show you what we can do in 3 months. What we'll achieve in 3 months is what maybe we could have achieved in 20 years. That's what I said to him. He didn't believe me. And I said, let's build a system. At that time, we didn't have an office. He was like, but we don't have an office. I said, it's fine. I'm used to working on my phone. I have all that I need, my phone. And I've got my expensive cars. That's all I need. And I have my brand, Vivian Mokome. I'll capitalize on that. The rest will follow. I was like, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. Then I went live, just went on social media. I said, I have a product, Dignity. Then I called it Dignity. I said, there's no dignity. That was my line that I used. I said, there's no dignity in a pad that leaks. I said, beautiful people have found a solution that is affordable, that is tailored for the African market. And it's an organic, biodegradable pad called Dignity. People started inboxing me. What are you on about, Vivian? I said, come to my inbox. And then I started telling them about this pad, about the project, the vision. I sold the vision to them. I said, this is my vision. The vision is to end period poverty, is to keep a girl child in school, and is to and ensuring that good quality pets is affordable in every home. Are you part of it? Can you help me get this product in every home? Because that's the end goal. I wanted this product to be in every home. Every woman deserve to have access to good quality pets at an affordable price. We're not going to make it expensive. We're going to keep it lower. It must be cost effective because it must be in every home. And I asked them, do you want to be part of that movement? I mean, it sounded like a noble cause. It's a noble cause. Nobody will say no to that. Everybody was like, this is a noble cause. We want to be part of it. And I said to them, we have 12.5 million menstruators in South Africa. 12.5. I said, that's your market. That's your business. I started giving them stats numbers. How many girls do we have that are using pads? Yeah, research. You know, you have to be knowledgeable. Know your business, know your stuff. And I said, some they're starting to menstruate from the age of 9 to the age of 50. I said, this is our business. We'll never run out of business. It's from the age of 9 to the age of 50.
Every month.
Every month. I said, we're going to go to schools. We're going to start in schools because already I was doing my project in schools. They were like, why schools? I said, I remember when I was young, Colgate, they came to my school. They gave us a toothpaste. That's what they did. That was a brilliant strategy. Till today, most Africans, they calling toothpaste Colgate.
Colgate, yeah.
I said, we're going to give these pads to them. We will make sure that we train them to a point where every pad, they'll call it Dignity. They'll call it Dignity. They'll go home and tell their mothers that, Mom, I don't want any pads, but I want Dignity. We're targeting them, the schools, the young girls. We did that. It became a movement. Those girls, they love it. Then my team grew from 3 people to over 1,000 across the African continent. Then my partner was like, wow, how did you do it? I said, I told you, it works. We just have to get it right. We just have to treat people well, make them feel valued, make them fall in love with the vision. They must chase the vision. Once they understand the vision and once the vision is embedded in them, that will wake them up every morning. Keeping a girl child in school, making sure that good quality pets is in every home. That is the vision. That's it. The name itself says it all, Dignity. And then we have to make sure that they understand that dignity is more than just a sanitary pet, it's a lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle that everybody must yearn for. You know, the same as everybody would want to buy Louis Vuitton. Those who cannot afford Louis Vuitton, they'll get the fake one, isn't it? So the same thing is because they want to be part of the group that wears Louis Vuitton or Gucci. So we want our women to want to be part of the group of the ladies that are using Dignity. I said, that's what we must drive. Then we did that.
What does your compensation plan look like for somebody out there who says, I want to get involved with Dignity as a professional in network marketing? How did you come up with it? What was your inspiration around, and what does it look like?
I wanted to reward people for their effort. You know, I designed a simple system. I made it simple. I didn't want anything complicated. I wanted a system that even the illiterate person can understand. And even those that have never worked in network marketing can be able to plug into it. I made it simple. I simplified it. For whatever you are doing, you get compensated for it. You sell, you get paid. You bring a person into the business, you get paid. It's as simple as that. So we made it simple. I said, look, we're going to make it simple. I don't want this thing of a complicated system where now you must sit and study the compensation plan. No. Let's keep it simple in such a way that anybody can plug into it. And even those that are working, that are still doing their 9 to 5, they can find this easy, And beside the compensation plan, the product itself, it sells itself, and we kept it affordable so that our people can be able to handle the objection. We knew that the objection will be there. They will be comparing our pets with what is already in the market.
Yeah.
We can't shy away from that. They've done well, those companies, in terms of marketing. We are not yet there. Now let's help our people. Let's make it easy. Let's make it affordable. So we made sure that dignity is still within the price range, which is something that I said to my partner, let's compromise there. Yes, it will hurt us in the beginning, but it's okay. Let's focus on selling volumes, because if we move volumes, then we'll be able to recover the money that we've initially invested into this project. And we had to cut on cost. Like I said, we didn't have an office. We were not paying any rent. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a PA. I had to sacrifice other things. I was using my phone and my study to run my business. So there were a lot of sacrifices that had to be made while we were building the business. So only when we started doing well, then we needed an office. And also the reason for the office, it was to create trust. People, they believe in a building. They believe in what they see.
Yeah.
And they believe, they buy what they see, what they can touch. Then we needed the office. I said to my partner, now we need the office. And since we had our office, our sales as well went up, because people can walk in at any time in our office. They trust. It creates trust that, okay, they hear this is not going to be a fly by night. And I also, I've created the open door policy where people can call me at any time. If there's any issues, they can walk into my office and discuss it with me. So they're not talking to Vivian that is not reachable. In fact, my husband and many of my associates, they've been warning me against this. Say, Vivian, you need to have now a PA. People must not get through to you easy. No, I don't believe in that. I said, no, I don't believe in that. I'm selling a product that I want to be in every home. I have nothing to hide. I want to be accessible. Yes, later on, they write, then I need those PA, I need those security guards, whatever, bodyguards or drivers, but not now. Now I'm still building the brand. And there's a culture that I want to create within our sales ambassador, the culture where they know that they can approach me with anything. I'm approachable. I'm like them. I sell like them. I lead by example. I'm not this CEO that is just there, not approachable, sitting in that fancy office, aircon. No, I sell, and I'm still selling the person. I'm showing them how they can do it. And by doing so, it creates that level of confidence in them that if our CEO can do it, it means this is doable. So now we have an office. We've got over thousands of sales ambassadors across the African continent that are selling the pet. I remember Mzwandile Masina. Let me mention his name, Shem. And I hope he will get to watch this. Mzwandile Masina, the former mayor of Ekurhuleni, he said this to me. We can no longer talk about pets and not mention dignity. Isn't it that powerful? Vivian called me and said, wow, you have done well. But I'm not surprised. I've seen you. You haven't been sleeping. I've seen the amount of work that you put into this with your team, to a point where we can no longer now talk about pets and not talk about DGN. I call it dignity, but my 2K, they taught me something. Or it's not dignity, it's DGN. I've learned that today. Call it. Yeah, that's what they call it. My 2K that are part of my team, they call me Mpho. They're like, Mpho is not dignity, it is DGN.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
so when we look at your compensation plan, I mean, what are some of your top leaders that are pushing DGN? What are they earning for somebody who's watching who says, is it something that I could sustain myself?
Yes, you can. The top, they're earning between 20,000 a month to 10. You can sustain yourself to 20. There's remember with network marketing, you write your own check. So
Yeah.
the system is unlimited. You can decide when to stop,
And when to continue.
when to continue.
And are there benefits of people becoming members where they receive monthly for those that just want to buy the product every month and use it?
Those who are buying every month, they get to buy the products at the cost price. Because if you're buying it from our distributors, they're going to add their markup price. So bear in mind that the distributor, they get paid from the company. And they also earn from the sale that they're making. So they are allowed to add the markup price of up to 56%.
Wow.
Yeah. So they get paid from the sales that they're making, and they also get paid an income from the company. So if you buy directly from the company in bulk, yes, you get to shy away from that 56%. So you'll be buying the product at the cost price, which is 45 rand. So the distributors, they're selling it for 70 rand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in terms of the market, I mean, how many, where you are now, how many products are you moving a month?
Ooh, I'm not so sure now. I'll have to check. We're moving now thousands. We are in Botswana. We are in Namibia. We are in Lesotho. We are in Swaziland. From Friday, we were launching Northern Cape. We have onboarded more than 90 students, unemployed, young people, into our system. Next month, we're going to Bloemfontein. We're expecting more young people that will be onboarding as well into our system. And here is the story. Friday, I was in Kimberley. And today we are in Uppington. Yesterday we were in Kuruman. One of the young girls sent me a message yesterday because I was training them on how to sell this pad and how to build the team and how they can generate an income. This young girl sent me a message and she said, for the first time, during this time of the month, I have a balance in my bank account. Thank you, Dignity. Normally when it is this time of the month, and I only met them Friday. And when I left, they already now started selling. They were stock out. They were busy trying to call me now. They're stock out. They need the stock. And this lady said, wow. She actually sent me a bank balance to say, wow, check how much now I have in my bank account. Thank you. These are the things that I live for. And there was a gentleman from Limpopo, Mr. Charles.
So men are also selling.
Oh, men have a better chance of selling a pet than a woman.
Wow.
Men are doing well in my team than women,
Wow.
which is the reality.
Wow.
Women tend to believe what a man is saying than when it's another woman. You know, you will be shocked. People that are buying my pets are men.
Wow.
Than women. Most men that I have educated about pets
feel the need
to buy this for their sisters, for their girlfriend, for their daughter. They don't even question. They don't ask lots of questions. Through education, and it will take me a second to train a man, and they will be like, listen, I need it. Give me the bank account. I'm buying this. But with women, I experience resistance. There's so much resistance, even though they know it's a good pad. But there's this thing that, oh man, why must we support her? Why must we give you millions again? You know, it's that. Most men, like Mzwandile Masina is one of them. Most men that are rooting, most people, a gender that is rooting for dignity Mpho, it is men than women. I remember, and I heard this through grapevine. One of the leaders said to me, I was with this organization and I was shocked that the ladies there, they said, we're not going to support her because she doesn't manufacture here in South Africa. The day she starts manufacturing here, then we'll support it. And I said, that's nonsense. Is it because it's not manufactured here that you're rejecting it? Or Is it because it's not a good product? If it's a good product, why are you rejecting it? If it's a good design, why are you rejecting it? If it's going to benefit our people. And besides, give me then the money to bring the plant here. Or ask the questions, why are you not?
Yeah.
Then I'll give you an answer because I've got an answer. Why the manufacturing is not yet done here. So you'll be shocked that it's mainly men. And men that are selling this pet in my team, they're doing better than women. So this gentleman said to me, today I'm regarded as a responsible man because I'm able to pay school fees. I'm able to put food on the table. Thank you for bringing this platform.
Wow. And in terms of the business of it, because I think, you had to sort of split your mind from the network marketing to now the actual business of it. Yeah. And what are some of those interesting things that you found? Because I can imagine now having to deal with manufacturing, distribution.
Yeah.
How
paying
are you,
people.
Yeah. How are you getting all of it? How are you managing all of it?
It is stressful, but thank God I've got a team that I work with. I'm not alone. I might be the face, but there is a team. There are directors and there's operational staff that is working behind the scene to ensure that we have a seamless process. There had to be a transition from just being a distributor and networker now to being a CEO. I have people that I need to pay salaries. There are costs that we need to manage, so that the business can be sustainable. And I had to separate myself now from being a distributor to being a shrewd now CEO, because there's certain decision that I have to make without now involving my emotions. The network marketing side of me will feel for the people, but the CEO part of Vivian is now to look for sustainability. How can this business be sustainable? Because we don't want this to be a once-off brand. We want to compete with the giants in the market. We want this brand to outlive us. We want this brand to be used by the next generation. So there's a lot of things that now I had to learn in terms of how to manage the business and let go. There were a lot of things that I had to let go so that the business can be sustainable.
Why have you never thought of increasing the products? Because when you look at most network marketing companies, they've got a lot of different products that speak to different demographics and markets.
There's advantage and disadvantages in that. I only wanted to focus on the sanitary products, which is your pads and your sanitary and your liners. I wanted to dominate the gynecological products. That's a market that I wanted to be known for. You don't want to be everywhere and have all these products that are not adding value at the end of the day. You can have all these products and still lose your audience. I don't want to do that. I have a focus audience, and in this case, is a woman. That's why I said Dignity is a product that is designed by a woman for women. That was my focus. I was approached, by the way, by many organizations that were saying, we can sell you this product as well. We can do it. No, guys, I don't want to lose focus. I'm a very focused person. There's a vision behind Dignity. And the vision is to restore the dignity of our women. Now, imagine if I were to bring now the toothpaste in. No. I'm not about that. So they've approached me. There are a lot of manufacturing companies that wanted to work with me. They're like, if you need this. I'm like, no, guys. It's about our women, our queens. So if a product is not in line with that, I don't want it. And it's not about money. Not everything is about money. Yes, I need money, but not everything is about money. And I don't want to lose focus of what I am about and what I stand for. Because now if I start now bringing Pick and Pay, all these shops now, I'll be like a supermarket. And then I'll lose the focus, And I remember I said this to a friend of mine, one of the professors. I said, you know what? There's one thing about me. If I enter into something, Mpho, I give it my all. I don't do things for the sake of doing it. I don't enter into businesses because people are entering into business. It must be something that resonates with me. Because if I love it and I believe in it, damn, I'll hug it. I'll sell it hard. But I don't want to sell something that I don't believe in it just because it brings money. It's not about that. So the reason why Dignity is doing well it resonates with who I am. I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a sister. I know the feeling of having a good quality pet. So that's why I glow when I talk about it, and it becomes easier for me to sell it. Now, if I were to bring other products, where will I start? You will even read between the lines that Vivian was forced here. So that's why with dignity, even when I work 24 hours, it makes sense for me to do that. I love it, because the vision now drives me, the passion. So I don't do things for the sake of doing that. Yes, they approach me. They ask me to expand. I said, no, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't align with who I am. It doesn't resonate with me. They were like, you'll make money. People need toothpaste. They brush. I said, I know. It's okay. I'll pass for now.
Wow. I'm going to ask you 4 set of questions. So these are signature questions. So you can just answer them, from the top of your head. We want to hear some of your thinking. If you could have a billboard with one message to the world, what would it say?
Yeah. One message. Obvious. For me, it will be dignity. Dignity for an African child.
I like that. What book or piece of art has profoundly influenced your thinking?
You'll be shocked. Okay, but there are 2 books that I'm currently reading. One is the Bible. I read a lot. Yes, I read a lot of Bible verses. I'm a born-again Christian. So God is my source. So I read the Bible. I hope they don't judge me. And another book by a good friend of mine, it's More Than Just Money. Yeah, those are the 2 books currently that I'm reading. But the Bible, it's been like that from inception. Other than that, it's my academic books. Yeah.
Wow. If you could have dinner with any 2 people, they can be alive or they can be deceased, who would they be and why?
You'll think I'm lying. Actually, when I saw that I've been following a lot of your podcast, it was you. And when I saw that when I saw the invitation, I gladly accepted because I've been following you. I'm here, so you are minus in the list because now I'm here. Who? It will be alive. Passed away. He's no longer alive. It will be Robert Sibukwe.
Wow.
It will be him. Wow. I've read a lot of books about him. The sacrifices that he has made for us to be where we are, what he went through, and what he believed in. Wow. He died for something. And for that, I have so much respect for him.
What's the one habit or routine that you will always maintain?
I'm an early person. I was born at 10 a.m. From 12, my energy levels, they go down. So what I do every morning, I wake up at 3.
Wow.
Yeah. 3 a.m. I'm up. You can start chatting with me at 3 because I'm up, praying, setting tone for the day, making declaration, commanding what I want to see for the day or the week ahead. That's what I do every morning, 3 a.m. I'm up. So what I did now, I did switch off. What is that thing? The indicator on my WhatsApp. Because it's embarrassing that 3 I'm up. So it will show that last scene, so I switched it off so nobody could, because people knew. And some will be sending me messages, why are you up?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm born at 10, it means my mom from 3. You understand.
You were kicking,
I was still kicking, I'm ready. So I'm in early bed. So by 3 a.m., I'm up, praying, setting tone for the day, working, checking my WhatsApp, checking the team, planning the day. By 11, I'm out already. I want to go home.
Oh, wow.
I'm out because I've already started my day.
Yeah, much earlier than everybody.
Much earlier. Wow. Planning ahead, checking the stats, what can we do to improve the business, to improve the system. I've already, by 3 a.m., I already know what's the problem in my organization, what do I need to do. By the time I send those, but like one of your PA called me at 9. She was reminding me, I'm like, I'm aware. You're disturbing me because I'm on voice note now, sending messages to the team. So by 8, my team, they're already receiving my voice note for the day, wait for the day, encouragement, the stock, what must be out, what. 10, I'm done. I'm done. If I go to the office, it's just to see the client, but my day is done.
Wow. And as we bring it to a close, what do you want to be remembered for? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
That there was a woman that fought for the dignity of a girl child in Africa. I want to be remembered for that. I want these young girls to remember that there was a woman who was for us, who was for our dignity, and who believed in us, who had money but still believed in the importance of education, who encouraged us to remain in school. And she didn't only encourage, but she made sure that we remain in school by giving us what we need the most, which is a sanitary, organic, biodegradable pad. A pad that I use, a pad that my daughter is also using. I didn't give them a product that I'm not using for the sake of it. I believed in them, and because of that, I gave them the best of the best. That's what I want to be remembered for. And I think it's already happening. When those girls, they talk about Vivian Mokome, they know that I'm rooting for them. I believe in them. And also for Black women to remember that it is possible. They need money. And I believed in them, and I wanted them to have money. I'm not shy to say that. I say it all the time that Black woman, you need money. And money looks good on a Black woman. That's what I want to be remembered for, that women, they must do whatever it takes. They must never give up. They must work very hard. It never goes out of fashion, working hard. It never, whatever we do, we need to get the right education, learn new skills every day, empower ourselves as women, dominate the space that we once, the space that we were once told that we cannot dominate. But we need to go out there, dominate them, rightfully so. Not because we are Black, not because we are women, that is an insult, but because we can do it and we are capable of producing the results. That's my message to the young and my age group and the old. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for joining us today on this For This Reason podcast. A truly inspiring story. Yeah. Congratulations. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. I know you believe in me.
Continue giving women dignity.
Actually, you bought my pets. You
remember?
I did, yes. For your staff.
Yes, I remember.
You bought for them. I wasn't here for that. And I still have your video. I'm posting about your video. For that, it encouraged me. And by then, when you were buying the pets, we didn't have an office, by the way. We didn't even have the network marketing.
Wow.
Yes, and you believed in me. You gave me 200 Rand. I said, no, but it's more. You said, it's fine. Just give them the pets. You see, I remember that.
Thank you.
And I engraved that. I was like, wow. Then when I left your office, I looked back and I said, wow, go out there, Vivian, and keep bad. Wow. And I did exactly that. So today you're sitting next to the CEO of Dignity. Then I was not even a CEO. Now you're sitting next to the CEO that has an office and a team of over thousands.
Wow. Keep going. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Wow.